Tonight on Capitol Hill, a sharp line of questioning from Senator Chris Murphy is putting influencer transparency and federal ethics rules under a national spotlight.
We'll now go to Senator Murphy, and for the awareness of the members, after Senator Murphy, we'll take a 15-minute break for the benefit of Dr. Means, and more importantly, the benefit of her child, and then we'll return 15 minutes, as said.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Dr. Means. Dr. Means, are you familiar with FTC policy that requires those who are recommending products online to disclose their financial connection to those companies? In particular, the document from the FTC says this: if you endorse a product through social media, your endorsement message should make it obvious when you have a relationship with the brand. Are you familiar with that?
Certainly.
That guidance? As you know, there is a pending complaint regarding your failure to adhere to those guidelines that basically makes the contention, and this committee has verified the data that underlies their complaint, that you routinely violated this policy, and that in fact, in the majority of your posts for many of the products you recommend, you did not transparently reveal your financial connection. Let me give you an example.
That's false.
Well, I'll give you an example. So there's a prenatal vitamin called Prenatal. Your filings before this committee show that you started receiving compensation in the spring of 2024. And yet in September of 2024, you posted a video saying that you had no financial relationship to the company, just a big fan. And then in October, you said, not sponsored, just love these. But in fact, you have documentation before this committee that showed when you said those things, you had a financial relationship. You had already started receiving money from that company. So you weren't telling the truth when you said you were just a fan. You were actually receiving money, correct?
If in any post where I said I am not receiving money, I had not been receiving money at that time.
But you had received partnership fees for this particular prenatal vitamin. In fact, prior to September and October, you had posted partnership links in which you get compensated based upon click-throughs, correct?
I'm happy to look at whatever documentation you're talking about, but I do not. It's incorrect and it's a false representation. And just to be very clear, I've spent the last several months working with the Office of Government Ethics to be fully compliant with this process. I take it very seriously. Before, during, and after, if I am in office, I will be in full compliance with the Office of Government Ethics. I think, as I've talked about, conflicts of interest are incredibly important to rectify if we're in public service, and I am fully committed to continuing to work with them.
So let me give you some other examples. Function Health, which is your lab testing platform, data shows that you disclosed your partnership with them less than a third of the time that you recommended their services online. Genova Diagnostics, you disclosed your sponsorship in only 2 of the 9 times that you promoted Genova. Daily Harvest, you disclosed your sponsorship in only 3 of the 14 posts recommending that product. Zen Basil Seeds, you disclosed your partnership only 2 out of the 13 times that you recommended the product. This seems systemic. It seems that in the majority of instances in which you were, as a medical professional, recommending a product, you were hiding the fact that you had a financial partnership. You seem to be in regular willful violation of the FTC rules. That is concerning as someone who agrees with Senator Cassidy that our focus has to be on restoring trust in the medical profession. And yet over and over again, you seem to be at scale recommending products without telling your followers. And you have 200,000 newsletter subscribers. You have almost 1 million Instagram followers. And in only 3 out of 14 times on Daily Harvest, when you were promoting Daily Harvest, you disclosed that you're getting paid by them?
It sounds like you have a lot to say about this issue, and I would be very interested to see how your staff looked at this data. I have a strong feeling that the way in which they gather this data is done intentionally to create these claims that you're making.
Well, I have the backup here. I mean, will you acknowledge that in many instances when you were promoting these products, you did not disclose that you had a financial relationship?
I don't think that's true. If it has happened, if it inadvertently has happened, I would rectify that immediately. However, I would be interested to see how your staff gathered this data.
I'll be happy to send it to you.
And I will conclude by saying that I take
all the committee members. I mean, it's pretty incontrovertible evidence.
I take conflicts of interest incredibly seriously. I've worked diligently with the Office of Government Ethics to make sure that conflicts are addressed thoroughly.
The committee will stand in recess for 15 minutes.
During a high-profile hearing, Senator Chris Murphy pressed Dr. Means over whether she properly disclosed financial ties while recommending products online. The exchange may have sounded technical at first, but what unfolded raises bigger questions about trust, advertising, and the responsibility of public figures in the digital age. Before diving in, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you do not miss the deeper analysis behind the headlines. We break down what these moments really mean, not just what was said. Murphy began by referencing guidance from the Federal Trade Commission, the federal agency responsible for protecting consumers from deceptive advertising. Under FTC policy, anyone endorsing a product on social media must clearly disclose if they have a financial relationship with the brand. The key word here is clearly. The disclosure must be obvious to the average viewer, not buried in fine print or hidden behind vague language. Murphy asked Dr. Means if she was familiar with this requirement. She responded that she was. That confirmation set the stage for the core of his argument. According to Murphy, there is a pending complaint alleging that Dr. Means repeatedly failed to disclose financial connections when promoting certain products online. He went further, saying that the committee had verified underlying data supporting the complaint. He claimed that in the majority of her promotional posts, she did not transparently reveal that she was being compensated. Dr. Means pushed back, calling the allegation false. Then Murphy presented a specific example, and this is where the hearing became more concrete. He referenced a prenatal vitamin brand called prenatal. According to filings submitted to the committee, Dr. Means began receiving compensation from the company in the spring of 2024. However, Murphy cited posts from September and October of that same year in which she reportedly told her audience she had no financial relationship with the company, saying she was just a fan and that the posts were not sponsored. If those timelines are accurate, the issue is not just about technical compliance, it is about whether viewers were misled while making health-related purchasing decisions. This is where the conversation becomes bigger than one person. The Federal Trade Commission has been increasing scrutiny of influencers, especially those promoting health, supplements, and wellness products. The reason is simple. Consumers often trust personal endorsements more than traditional advertisements. When a doctor, health advocate, or a public figure recommends a prenatal vitamin, many viewers assume that recommendation is purely based on medical judgment, not financial incentives.